Shrestha Datta and I stand strongly against the motion. Digital learning should replace traditional learning. Let's think rationally. Can a screen replace the bond between a student and a teacher? Can monitors help develop a human being? Can smartphones and laptops actually understand the student like a teacher does? The answer is no. Education is more than just gathering knowledge. It is about overall human development. Teachers enlighten us about life skills such as confidence, discipline, etc. If gathering knowledge was all about education, Google would have been the greatest teacher. After the pandemic of COVID-19, many top institutes such as the University of Harvard, the University of Oxford, and so many more have actually shifted back to traditional learning. The reason is that they actually found out about how digital learning affects the focus and concentration of the student. During online classes, the students are just one click away from the distractions of games, social media, and other entertainments. Traditional learning helps the student engage in class and helps create an environment of focus and attention. I would like to continue by saying that education is a right, and even the poorest of the poor deserves education. Even today, multiple students cannot afford technology, smartphones, and even electricity. For example, according to the news in New Indian Express, a student from Kerala has committed suicide just because she couldn't attend online classes. Isn't it unfair how millions of students cannot afford technology and are left behind in studies? Isn't education supposed to reduce inequality? In conclusion, digital learning is an addition to traditional learning. It should add and support traditional learning so that the student can benefit fully from it. If technology was all about education, schools wouldn't exist. Lastly, technology is an extremely powerful tool. But the day teachers are replaced by screens, education will lose its human soul. Thank you.
Now, I would like to call Vignesh from Arjun House speaking on the topic online classes should replace traditional classes for the motion.
Education is not about doing one thing or doing in classroom or learning in classroom. Good afternoon, respected judges, respected teachers, and my fellow mates. I'm Vignesh Kaman, presenting Arjun House, is in front of you to talk for the motion. Education is used to develop students for the future, not to the past. Digital learning is more flexible, accessible, personalized, and efficient as compared to traditional classes. As for the first point, in traditional classes, the student has to manage the slow learner has to match the speed or the pace of the student who is good in attention. Whereas in digital classes, a slow retainer or a slow learner can match its own pace and can learn at its own adjustable speed of its own. Whereas it has no problem in learning in digital classes. Secondly, my second point is that we can have a basic education through digital learning in every part of India, where from the rural areas to the urban area, as it can give equalized education from the top tutors of the country to sing to a rural boy to a big city. As one of my mates has said that there is no internet to every house. So brother, it's the answer that this is an infrastructure problem, not a flaw in education system. So you cannot say that not having Wi-Fi is the problem. It's an infrastructure problem. So, as I said, that digital learning can replace the traditional classroom, and it is more reliable, and it creates a more holistic development of a student. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 1, for your wonderful presentation. Now, I would like to request Team 1 to all be seated. Our next Team 2 speaking on the topic, social media affects mental health or not. Our first participant speaking for the motion, Devyani
customers as users, illegal drugs and software. This isn't a coincidence, is it? Hello everyone, I am Dehradun, Vice Captain of Manisha House, and today I stand before you to strongly support the motion that social media affects mental health. Social media platforms are not designed merely for communication. They are designed to capture attention. Social media platforms, such platforms are built by attention architects. They are built by attention architects. These platforms are built by attention architects who use psychological tricks called as variable rewards to keep us endlessly scrolling. Every like gives a burst of dopamine and every lack of attention gives self-doubt, anxiety, etc. If social media is really harmless, then why are we unable to stay away from it, even for a few hours? Okay, then, social media algorithms are arranged in such a way that they keep people intentionally going on to scroll. The internet trolls, notifications, streaks, etc. keep people endlessly scrolling, and this is the main cause that this creates a dependency almost equal to gambling. How many of us check our phones the moment we wake up, and how many of us feel restless when there are no notifications? This increases anxiety, reduces focus, and ruins healthy sleep patterns. That is the very foundation of mental well-being. Social media is nothing but a carefully edited reel of people's lives. We see perfect bodies, perfect faces, perfect vacations, perfect lifestyles, but reality is never perfect. How can young minds feel confident when they're constantly comparing their life to someone else's filtered life? This addiction increases anxiety, reduces focus and causes people to lose their emotional stability and confidence. In conclusion, I would like to say, as much as social media helps communication and access to information easier, it also
Now, our next participant speaking against the motion, Dhruv from House Qatari.
Good afternoon, respected judges, honorable opponents, fellow classmates. I, Dhruv of the Qatari House, today I am here to firmly stand against the notion that social media negatively impacts mental health. First of all, let us ask ourselves, did the social psychological terms of anxiety, stress, depression exist after the invention of the internet? Certainly not. Society has imposed pressure on the focus and emphasis on wealth, popularity, and social status. These comparisons were made and exposed through cinema, magazines, comics, and other forms of media. Social media did not create these insecurities. It merely amplified and exposed what already existed within society. Social media is just a tool. It is not something which we can depend on. Like the saying goes, fire can either cook a meal or burn a house. The danger lies not in the fire, the danger lies in the user. Furthermore, I would like to say that social media has not only been used to solve natural crises such as the 2018 Kerala floods, to provide emergency contacts, emergency information, protect and find lost personnel, as well as other things. But we also have to take into consideration the negative side effects of cyberbullying. Several cases have been reported during the past recent years, which is not directly a result of social media and its inherent evil, but it is a result of the lack of accountability. Lastly, I would like to say one line. The issue was never the tool. The issue has been the user. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhruv, for expressing your point. Now, I would like to call upon stage Joshita from House Arjun speaking for the motion.
Like comparability. This isn't a habit, it's the business model of a $1 trillion industry that builds your mental peace and creates your attention. The real question isn't if social media affects mental health, it's how deeply and to what extent. Good afternoon everyone, I'm Joshita representing Arjun House and I'm for the motion that social media affects mental health. Social media being marketed as a connection operates as an engine of comparison, addiction, and exposure. One that erodes mental health slowly and deeply unless we deliberately intervene. We no longer measure ourselves against classmates. We measure ourselves against the curated, filtered, and global 1%. Psychologists call it upward social comparison, and I call it digital self-harm. Mental health requires boredom, reflection, and stillness. Social media monetizes their extinction. The same feed that uplifts you through your motivational food and 2 swipes later promote illegal writing sites, piracy links, and predatory content. Algorithms don't have morals, they have engagement targets. When 14-year-old kids 3 clicks away from exploitation, we cannot call the platform neutral. It is exposure is the core product. Supporters say social media enables awareness and community. True, but what can we expect from a platform that shows surface information? Offering a crisis helpline and an ad for an illegal casino in the same session is not a solution, it's contradiction. So what can we do? Reporting illegal websites, predatory content, and betting sites isn't censorship, it's consumer protection. We teach vibrance. Students must be taught how these platforms are built to edit, how filters distort, and how algorithm is manufactured. An educated user is a harder target. To conclude, I say that social media is not merely something that ruins people, but it's subjective. And to make use of it in a certain way is that we keep certain guidelines to ourselves, and we must protect people from entering into too far, and we need to keep age restrictions. Thank you.
Now, our next participant, Anubhav from House Manisha, speaking against the motion.
Blaming social media for mental health. It's like blaming printing press for propaganda. Technology amplifies us for worse or better. It's our responsibility to decide how we use it. Hello everybody, this is Anubhav, standing in front of you to shed some light on today's topic, social media and mental health. I strongly disagree that social media negatively affect our mental health. Because social media is a tool that in fact depends upon how we use it. For millions of people, it provides community connection and all access of mental resources that didn't exist in the generation ago. Then I would like to start my debate by addressing the first point, connection. Social media helps to stay people connected. That social media helps the people be connected by communicating them. People are separated by countries in continents, so it's easily to connect them by phone call and social media. So the next point, secondly, I want to say that social media provides awareness and support. Like creatives can openly discuss therapy, meditation, mental health struggles, etc. So it's also helping that also social media. Thirdly, I want to say that social media is a platform for creativity, self-expression,
the young people share their ideas and music with the world. The positive response from the global audience give them motivative self-confidence that become the big artists. There are so many artists who remain unnoticed without social media. So then social media helps you the educational purpose also. Yeah, for education purpose you can search classes anything in social media. So last but not least point, social media, the main problem is misuse of the social media. When we are misusing, that's the main problem. Opponents argue that social media is an addiction, but it's not an addiction. It depends upon how we use it. That every tool is harmful for us, but that because of the usage of it. So I like to conclude my speech to saying that social media is not really harmful. That depends upon how we use it. So thank you.
Now, I would like to call on stage Sanjana from Karyappa House speaking for the motion.
When was the last time you spent one day? I'm talking about one single day, 24 hours here. How many times? When was the last time you spent one day without your phone? The silence is your answer. Good morning, respected judges and my fellow prisoners, digital prisoners. Hi, I am Sanjana Puruli and I stand before you with a question. If social media is truly making us smarter and happier, then why is it that this generation with the most disconnected, disinterested, and mentally unstable people that the world has ever seen? It's not a habit, it's a mental niche. You got yourself into the trap, and it is not your fault, it was designed in such a way. These apps were designed not to help us, but to destroy us, but to trap us, and guess what? They did what they wanted to do. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, he has a case filed against him last year for everything he has broken because he chose to live by his motto, move fast and break things. He has broken friendships, families, relationships, insecurity, every single thing that you could probably ever think of. And who's responsible? You and me. Everyone sitting in this room is equally responsible for whatever is being done. Do you know what's bad? It is that we don't even realize that we're addicted to something. But do you know what's worse? It is that you know that you're addicted to it and you're still not doing anything to take an action against it because that is how much you're addicted to it. Out of 10 students, 2 are drug addicts, 2 are phone addicts, and 8 are actually social media addicts. And even the statistics is in front of you, you're not ready to fight against it. And Anubhav, I am really sorry, it is not communication, it is digital isolation. That is the work. That is what social media has done to us. And every single time it is on repeat. You are supposed to be in the tool when it is designed to ruin you. Why we're not actually doing it? Whenever it is in our hands right now, it is still in our hands, it is not high time. But once it's high time, you have nothing to do against it. We will be lost, it will be a lost case forever, my friend. And when I'm talking about this, I'm not just joking. It is not just about a household, it's about a country. So when you're stepping out of this room, I hope you realize what you're dealing with. Thank you so much.
Now, our next participant, Rudraji from Karyappa House, speaking against the motion.
Good afternoon, everyone. I represent KL of Karyappa House. standing in front of you to express my views on the statement that social media affects mental health. And I'm completely against the statement. Every generation has had its own moral panic. Like in the 1950s, it was comics ruining children's minds, and in 1980s, it was video games breeding violence, and in 1990s, it was internet corrupting youth minds. And every time, science has not mitigated the social media is not the enemy of mental health. Inequality, loneliness, and helplessness is the enemy of mental health. Every generation has made its tools for its struggles, like printing press was blamed for spreading fake news, and telephone for destroying communications. And every time history has mitigated its tool and indicted the fear. And in today's world, we are told that social media affects mental health. Same fear, same panic, and same absence of truth. Ladies and gentlemen, before condemning a platform used by more than 5 million people, let us demand something radical. Let us demand evidence. The largest pre-registered study on social media and teen mental health has found that the social media use has only shown 0.4% variation in well-being. That is less than wearing spectacles and also less than eating potato. Social media is a tool and its effects is completely dependent on how we use it. So blaming social media on the mental health crisis is exactly the same as blaming road for car accidents. Thank you.
Now, I would like to call upon on stage our next participant, Pragni from Katari House.
Imagine a room full of 100 people, but still everyone feels lonely because they are stuck in a single screen. And this is a sad reality of social media today. Very good afternoon, respected judges, teachers, and everyone. Today, I come to an esteemed Katari house led by Isha Parmar and Vasu Puti. Today, I am standing here to firm up the motion that social media affects mental health. On hearing the term social media, what comes in our mind first? Of course, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and Twitter. Today's generation is so much affected with social media that when they wake up in the morning, instead of remembering God, they check their Instagram profile and how many likes they gain in their recent post. And this is actually destroying this generation's sleeping skills, actually. So let's continue with the interesting factor known as social comparison. Let me present a situation where a growing influencer who has a high reach since 2 weeks, but suddenly he or she is not getting too much attention from the online crowd. And this is the point where the term social anxiety hits, and the person tries to compare them with other influencers. Nothing, it's just increase a fake sense of validation and creates the unrealistic beauty standard. Social media was created to connect people, but now it's so slowly disconnecting many from real happiness and real peace. In winning the race of followers, fame, and filters, many are losing the race of knowing themselves. And here, the term FOMO, fear of missing out, jungles. The social media platform is designed in such a way to keep the users engaged, and FOMO is one of the biggest psychological tools to make the people addict. In this digital world, the words which are typed behind the screen are most powerful than any weapon. Cyberbullying is not just online teasing or trolling, it's a silent attack on the person's dignity, confidence, and mental health. People like Pranshu Yadav, Karvajit Singh, Megan Mir, and Chanak Ramesh are the victim of the online harassment, trolling, and cyberbullying. Behind the viral meme and hateful comments, there's always a real person who suffers. Respected judges, at the end, I would like to remind the most dangerous harms are not visible. And many young people are suffering from depression, loneliness, and anxiety because of this social media pressure. And I would like to end my speech